Well, good morning. It's Easter Sunday. I had to go to work because Walmart and put those in my name in the morning. Last night I had a wrestling show in Massachusetts, North Adams, and it went well. I was working as a referee for Truly Independent Wrestling, which you should check out. They have their own YouTube channel. They show some of the matches that happen in the show, so feel free to go and check their channel. And I work for them as a referee. And last night I was at the show. Again, last night is the day before Easter. In Puerto Rico, they do wrestling shows on Saturday before Easter and the Sunday of Easter. You know, it's like a tradition. You know, when it comes to wrestling. So yeah, so definitely did the show. So it was the first time that I did a show like that. But at the same time, I'm also in this show. I want to use this video blog to talk about how I became an atheist. And yeah, I mean, considering that it's Easter, I think it's the perfect time for me to talk about this. I have family members that I have lost because they don't agree with me becoming an atheist. And I have lost people in my life because of that, of the fact that I teach religion completely. Some people have tried to get me back into religion. Some people have assumed things that are not true about my atheism. Again, the old ideas that happen in Puerto Rico as to what an atheist person is, and they make assumptions about people being angry at God or something like that. That was not the case of me. I was born in a Catholic family. I used to be Catholic up until, I would say, until 2003 when I began losing the faith. And it wasn't until 2007, 2008 that I finally came out and ditched religion completely. And that was after I read the book A History of God by Karen Armstrong. It was not because of my atheism came because I began asking myself questions. One of the biggest questions that I always have had has been because of the existence of a God. You know, when you think about it, if there's one God in the world, how come that God, particularly in the times before modern times, was able to tell everybody to keep some consistency? Hey, I'm the true God. Look at me. I'm here. I exist. And why there was so many places where they have different views of what a God was, you know, especially with the New World in the what they call the New World, you know, Americas. We had civilization already living there, and they had their own culture, their own religion. You know, in Puerto Rico we had the Taínos who had their own culture, their own religion. In Europe they have a different type of religion at the time. So when you think about that, it's like, okay, so if there's a one true God, why can that true God tell people like, oh, this is who I am, this is how it is, you know? And that thought just, it's like, so what is religion? How come religion came to be as it is, you know? And then I heard about the history of like how the Catholic Church decided which books to put in the Bible, how they teach some of the books, and you know, all in all, it seems that it was very manipulative. Religion was very manipulative. They just pick and choose whatever they wanted. And then seeing after the Protestant Reform, how many churches began popping up, you know, and even in Puerto Rico too. It's like one preacher one of these days decided to start his own church, and out of a sudden there are 10 or 20 followers, and they have a church. And I saw that, and this was people that were without any preparation too. So it just hit me. It just began. How do you know that God is really talking to that person? You know, and those were things that hit me. And then also in terms of history, when Spanish people came to Puerto Rico, they also brought priests and tried to convert the natives of the island, and they did horrendous things too. You know. All in the name of like, oh, these people don't know God, we have to save them. Which is a lot of bullshit in my opinion. So that hit me hard, and I just came to the conclusion that I can't believe that there is an actual God that if he's so powerful that he cannot keep consistency in beliefs, and that was pretty much the beginning of me teaching religion, because I no longer consider the existence of a God a reality, and that destroyed everything that I was taught, very much from my religious upbringing in Puerto Rico in the Catholic Church. That destroyed the religious upbringing too that I experienced going to high school. I went to a private Christian evangelical high school, and also just noticing what the different churches and religions believe, because like Protestants and Catholics, they have different beliefs, and it's not based on interpretation of like texts that are in the Bible. And that to me is like, so how do you know that you're right, and just basing things on a book and not being able to present enough evidence just convinced me that there's nothing out there. And I ended up reading the book of A History of God, and in the book she went from how religion started as a polytheistic view, and then eventually turned into a monotheistic view. And when I read that, it just like convinced me more that there's really nothing out there. And I know it's a sad view to have, and I know that there's people that are going to disagree with me, and they're going to have the disagreement. Understandable that I've also lost family members over this, because they still have deep held religious belief, and sometimes I can't just change that. And to me, becoming an atheist has been liberating to an extent, because I don't have to feel the guilt that I used to feel before I transitioned genders. It broke those change. I was able to feel more comfortable in my own skin and make my own decisions and feel comfortable with who I am. But at the same time, there are other things that I have lost. I lost the sense of community. Church is almost like a community, and I no longer have that sense of community. I also don't agree. Like, I'm very vocal. I don't agree with the Catholic Church. I don't agree with what Christian evangelicals' beliefs are. There's a position of what I think and what some people think when it comes to religion and humans and all that kind of stuff. I think being gay, being transgender, is perfectly okay. I can be who I am. You are who you are. That's perfectly fine. You're still a human being. So my views have changed. Have become more humanist. I did change religion out of my life, and in all honesty, there's no more purpose for me. Like, I have thought about like finding a different church and all that kind of stuff, but in all honesty, because I just arrived to my own conclusion and there's nothing out there, I feel like going to another church wouldn't do anything, because I don't think there's nothing, any God out there. That a God doesn't exist. And by a God, I mean any God. I don't think any God exists. Like, no God exists. Atheism is the lack of belief in a God, and that's what my atheism is. Like, there's no God to be out there. There's none. There's no way for me to accept the existence of that, or something that doesn't, in my view, doesn't exist. But people have the right to follow their own religions, whatever that is. People have the right to worship, and they believe a God, whatever God they believe it is, in peace. But there's a line when they come to try to make other people accept those beliefs that they have. I think there has to be a division of that. I think society has to be inclusive of everybody, and just like giving passing laws or trying to, when government tries to support more one particular religion over another, I think that is a problem. So yeah, but my viewpoint, I have no God. I don't think there is a God, and that's just my view, and it can be offensive for get that, because pretty much like I'm denying deep up convictions that people probably have, and I mean it feels painful, but at the same time it's just like on my personal level it has made me a better person. I've become more aware, more understand of the other differences that exist in society, you know, and that's what I like about life, about that there's diversity in life, there's diversity in cultures, you know. And my culture, the Tainos, you know, they were a diverse culture, and it's just sad that because of priests that wanted to push their religious belief in them, they ended up dying, and we ended up as Puerto Ricans losing a very significant part of our culture, and that to me is sad. And but it's mistakes that people make that we have to understand that we should make those mistakes again. And that's why I don't like when, again, like going back, I don't like when government tries to push a certain religion or another. That's just thing I don't think it's fair. I don't think me joining that atheist organization that meets on Sundays and all that kind of stuff is going to do anything, because I mean just have that it's a reminder of like church, and I don't think I need to go to a church for atheists or atheist meetings on Sundays for community. I really don't think that. I'd rather have my live life, use my sons for whatever I want to, you know. But it has changed the way that I do things, you know. And like I said, I mentioned I lost community, I lost family members, I don't disagree with some of my family members. I have family members that are even preachers, Christian evangelical preachers in Puerto Rico, that I don't agree with their belief, I don't agree with what they're preaching, because I think sometimes they preach hatred towards the LGBT community, and I don't like that. I don't agree with what they do. I don't think they should be preaching hatred towards the LGBT community. And to me, it's okay. I'm okay losing those people in my life. I really don't care. We hardly talk, and honestly, it's fine, you know. It doesn't make any difference to me. But I lost them. It's the only thing that kind of like I've come to terms with, you know. Yeah, I lost family members. But I also lost family members when I came out as being a trans woman in 2007. So that was two things that happened, you know. When I came out as trans, my parents and two family members, I knew I was going to lose people over that, you know, because people are too, again, the religious background that people have in today's society, they have those with strong convictions, and it's very difficult for them to be able to pull themselves out of that, you know, and see things from a different perspective. Me, on the other hand, I've been able to like being highly introverted, being highly introverted, having I can't even pronounce the word, damn it, introverted. I can change my perspective and look at things from a different perspective, and I can come to a different conclusion about things. So I can put myself, for me was I think it was also because of me going to grad school. Since I have a master's degree, I can do that, you know. Sometimes you have to look at different research and see if they give you a different perspective. So same happens in real life when somebody tells you about some beliefs, you know. You can pull yourself apart and start looking at things in the whole picture, you know. And that's what I did. I pretty much put myself apart and start looking things from a different perspective, not from the perspective that, oh yeah, this is what we taught you, you know. And I began thinking about, like, what if I was born in a different country? Will I be the same religion? Probably not, you know. If I was born in a different place, I'll have a different set of beliefs. So because of that, that's where I began looking at religion from a different point of view, and that's why I was looking into atheism and teach what I didn't agree anymore, you know. And a lot of people think being an atheist you become immoral, but honestly morals have just there are things that are just universal, like there are things that you don't need religion to dictate. But since I have my Catholic background, there are certain things that I found like, okay, I got taught these things. I think I have kept some of those things that I were taught. We talk about the Ten Commandments in religion. I have kept some of those commandments, except for a few that I have ditched completely because they have no purpose or usefulness for me anymore. So definitely those things have happened, and I could say that I have some of the things that I believe or things that I follow came from religion. So I cannot deny the possibility that that is what controls my attitude, the way that I act and behave. And then I can give an example. For example, in the Ten Commandments, they say, "Thou shalt not steal," so I don't steal. But there are other things that I have ditched because they have no use for me. So it's not like I'm an atheist and I've been always an atheist. I'm a previous Catholic person, but according to the Catholic Church, I'm still probably Catholic because the Pope says that if you're Catholic and you're baptized and confirmed, you are still Catholic, so there's that. But in all honesty, I don't consider myself Catholic. I don't consider myself a religious person. I'm an atheist. I'm a total atheist. I don't care about religion. I don't care about the Catholic Church. I don't care about any religion, for that matter. But people can follow their own paths, follow their own belief, follow their own religion if they choose to do so. And that's okay for them to do that if they want to. But me, I don't have anything. And that's okay. And the sad part is like there's been like family members, like I mentioned earlier, that have tried to change that. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. And they try to give me passages of the Bible or things like that, or pray for me, and I'm like, okay, go ahead and pray. I don't think that's going to do anything for me. So yeah, go ahead and pray. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Peace to everybody. Stay safe on this Sunday and have a great day.